Hey guys, good morning. It is time for a RP diet update. So many of you are seeing something called the weekly review pop up on your screens today, maybe at today's weigh-in. If you haven't seen this yet, it is coming your way. I didn't want to address this too early so that you start thinking about it, but it's time to address it because it's coming to a app screen near you soon. So here's what we're looking at. And this will prompt this for you guys. It's not something you have to go search for right now, but it is accessible in the home menu when it's time to do so. So here's what you're gonna expect during the weekly review. This thing's basically gonna pop up with three choices based on your weigh-ins. So you're either gonna choose stay on track, get more aggressive, or slow down based on what kind of progress you're making. My very generic advice, and we will end the video after talking about this, would be to select stay on track. Most of us are doing this for the first time. This is our first week on plan. We learned a lot. We figured out what are good foods and bad foods to integrate. So we maybe just need to improve on our system for week 2. And we weren't worried about a crazy number being lost or gained on the scale this week. Okay, so we're just kind of settling into this thing. So my generic advice, guys, is to stay on track and move forward. Don't make any plans. But here are the other two options it is giving you. Number 1, get more aggressive. What this is gonna do, guys, is it's gonna reduce your nutrients. It's gonna take your macros down, which means your calories are coming down. So this means you didn't lose enough weight to stay on target. And so it's gonna make your second week harder, meaning you're gonna be more hungry during week 2. The other option is to slow down. Let's say you lost a ton of weight, you're way ahead of schedule, and you're really, really hungry, and you're miserable, and you're slapping everyone that you see through the course of the day. So if we choose slow down, it is gonna bump up your macros to feed you more. Okay, so it's gonna slow that process down. Most of us probably saw a bigger weight loss week 1 than we maybe expected, because we went from just eating however we want to now doing something structured. That's normal. So we're maybe ahead of schedule at this point, but I wouldn't recommend, because it's saying that you're ahead of schedule, I wouldn't recommend slowing down, because that might actually stall. Again, this is why I went over that initial dip in weight. So that's to be expected here, guys. So again, my generic advice is to just stay on track. The next screen, after you make your selection here, depending on what you selected, will maybe give you a warning. So if, for instance, and I'm going into great detail here, but let's say we didn't lose much weight and we hit stay on track, it might prompt you to get more aggressive. It might give you a warning, hey, we can do that, we can stay on track, but your meal plan is gonna get harder later to compensate. Like, okay, cool. Like, let's just settle in. I'd still recommend staying on track. Again, my main goal for you guys on this whole thing is adherence. I'm not worried about big weight loss numbers here. And I would hope you guys adopt that mentality just a little bit. We can always repeat this process later and try to chase more aggressive weight loss goals. So anyway, once we've made our selection here and we've kind of worked through that, it's gonna give us an option. Sorry, this is so small on the screen here, guys. I will be posting screenshots of what these screens will look like, by the way, to either copy meals or don't copy meals. And all that's referring to, guys, is do we want to take our week 1 meals and just copy them into the next week, or do we want to start from scratch? I highly advise copying your meals, because at least you have something in the tank menu-wise. You can still go in and edit. You're going to be editing constantly on this thing, so don't feel like you're locked in. You can go in and change each meal individually, completely, day by day, whatever. All those copy and paste functions are still live, so I would absolutely copy all of those meals. The last thing I want to go over, guys, since we're a week into this thing, and again, at those orientation meetings, this was discussed, we are tracking adherence for you guys. So let me show you guys my beautiful board that I gridded out. So guys, this is not in permanent marker. So if you swipe this, it's gonna mess up my line. So be delicate with your entries here. It is gonna get messed up. I should have done this in permanent marker, I apologize. So this is as simple as it can get. We're gonna put your name here, and at the end of week 1, we're just gonna put your adherence percentage. At the end of week 2, same thing. So we're just gonna put our adherence in. Whatever our stats screen is saying each week at the end of the week, just pump in that number on that day, whatever it is. And we'll see what's still being held up at the end of 8 weeks, guys. So we aren't tracking weight loss here. I don't care what your weight loss numbers look like. I don't need to see or know those graphs. We can always discuss them for continued support. That's it. So weekly review and update your adherence on the board. As always, let us know if you have any questions and keep sharing those meals. We had a lot of submissions yesterday for that. That's awesome. I think that's really helpful for a lot of people. So I'd love to see that continue. Good job, guys.